Welcome to the Marketing for the Culture podcast, powered by the African American Marketing Association. Each week, we'll bring you an insightful conversation from some of the best experts in our industry on how to advance our career. Join the collective of Black marketers across the world, advancing their brand as we work towards creating a collaborative community.
Welcome back to Marketing for the Culture. I am CL Pod Gang, and I have Michelle Gomez on the other line, and we are here doing some of our favorites for 2021, a tried and true tradition of making a list, everyone's favorite internet activity. And we went a little long on the first couple, but we're gonna speed things up. So let's get right into our favorite book. I know I started the first two, so let me let you start this time, Michelle, and then I will share my favorite book.
My favorite. There's so many books. I'm a reader. So I'm going to give you two books right now. I'm going to say Will Smith. I just finished that a couple of weeks ago. Great audiobook. I bought the physical book and the audiobook. I would encourage everyone to get the audiobook.
Is he reading it?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's why, and first of all, I think actors, actresses, they have the best audiobooks because they're already actors and then they know how to do the animation of voices.
Right.
So he includes his music in there, as a rapper. And then his ending was just hands down the best ending. So be sure to check that out. And the second book is The Gap by Henry Adasso, who's an ALMA member, by the way. And he's just a brilliant writer. And when I read this book, it reminded me of Seth Godin's The Dip. And the crazy thing is he actually got a review by Seth Godin, right? So the brother's on point. But the Gap and this is like the perfect time to read it at the end of the year. But it talks about if you're struggling, why are you struggling and how do you overcome that struggle? Right. So what's the gap in between, we'll say, stagnation and success? And he just does a brilliant job of walking you through that process. And I felt when I was reading it, probably because I know him, but I heard his voice in my head. And I was like, how does he know me? So it's a great read. I strongly encourage people to pick it up. And those are my top two books. And I just read them, so that's another thing. But
yeah, it's always gonna be a little recency bias when it comes to doing a list. But you're on point. I'm probably gonna check that book out. It kind of reminds me of this book that my man sent me in the mail called Finish, by John Acuff or Acuff.
Yeah. John Acuff. I'm familiar with.
Yeah. Oddly enough, I have not finished the book, but I'm definitely going to read it probably in the next week or two, only because it's time for me to get my mind right for 2022.
Yeah.
And so that's I would love to swap notes with you on that to see where there's some similarities and things. Might could do a little session on that.
Yeah.
But I know I'm going to read both of those books. Those are the Will Smith book. I was already on track to read because I saw the Oprah interview, and that was very interesting. Oprah, by far, one of the best interviewers ever, hands down. And so she really got Will to come forth and make me feel like, okay, this is a story that I actually need to sink my teeth into, because there's some things that he's discussing besides the Jada things that really spoke to me as a father and a Black man, and so on and so forth. So I'm going to recommend that as well, and I guess I'm gonna have a review too. We might have little book club.
I'll say this. I read it was probably an Audible review, and it said Will Smith, his book provides the psychology without the psychology babble, right?
Mm,
Without the expert and all of their fanciness. But
yes.
it definitely he gives you a great story of who he is and why he is the way he is and how he did, all of these things, good, bad, and indifferent.
Mm,
Um,
yeah, yeah. It's gonna be on my list top of the year. I'm probably gonna put it off a little bit longer, but you know what? I might have an Audible credit. I just might. I'm running out of 6.95 months, so I'm gonna get it in while I can.
right, right.
Straight up.
Like, I know this email address.
Yes. Yeah. I'm gonna have to look on that. All right, so let me get to my book, which is The Perfect Day to Boss Up by none other than the boss,
For
Rick
real?
Ross.
Okay.
Oh,
Tell me
gotta
about it.
gotta boss up.
Hey.
When it's your day. No, let me stop. Uh, I could do a good Rick Ross on the real though. Yes. So the perfect day to boss up. I also did the audio book, and the
Okay.
brother who was reading the book did a great job of giving it some emphasis, almost the way that Rick Ross would talk.
Okay.
And even though I was hearing him, I could hear Rick Ross saying the thing. Like
Okay.
it, very good translation from a person's mind to book.
Mm.
And the book is really about his journey as an entrepreneur. Um, because he's somebody who has basically turned a corner since he's got into the music industry into getting involved in every sector um, of industry that he can. We know about the wing stops, we know
Mhm.
about the Bel Air, we know about the checkers, the real estate, so on and so forth. And the thing that really stuck out to me was he had learned some hard lessons and he gave some real good nuggets. But then he also, pretty much explained the ways he was able to use his position to get a piece of businesses that he wanted, like Bel Air. Um, you know, he actually said in the book that people thought he already had a deal with Bel Air from jump, but he really was just trying to get their attention. He had talked to the man and he told him, I'm like, I want in on this. But he's like, I wanted to let this breathe and get out there first. And then we can start bringing people in. But because the support was so strong behind what Rick Ross was doing, it turned into like, okay, you're really helping my business. I need you in here. And I thought like some of his moves were very strategic, and I think a lot of entrepreneurs can learn from the stuff that Rick Ross is talking about. You
Okay.
know, I'm I'm a real tried and true black man. Uh, so like there's certain, how you say it, archetypes of type of people that I really fool with, and Rick Ross is one. But
Absolutely.
from what I perceived him to be, is kind of what I thought he was, which is somebody who's very smart and has some business acumen. I mean, even down to him using the Holyfield house out there in Fayetteville, Georgia, and turned that into a movie set.
Crazy.
You know, it just works with Rick Ross, and I like some of the lessons, and I would love to actually sit down and interview Rick Ross on a business podcast. Like I
Mhm.
have business questions. I don't even want to talk about music. Like that's a whole nother podcast. I could ask him about all the music things, but he's got enough. I really fool with it.
Yeah, he did a really good interview with Jordan Harbinger on his podcast. I got halfway through it, but it was really good. You might enjoy that one. But yeah,
I'm gonna have to listen to it. I've been too much. I have been doing too much of like the routine with my podcast, and I need to make room for like other people talking to people that I'm interested in. And I'm probably gonna find some more podcasts that I like. And I guess since we are talking about it, let's talk about our favorite podcasts for this year. Go a little out of order.
Other than marketing for the culture?
I mean, other than marketing for the culture, I know this is everybody else's favorite podcast to listen to, but we are podcasters, we're marketers, and we're people. Now, if you having trouble, I know what I'm going with. So if you need a minute, I can go first.
No, I would say the Connections Hub podcast with Jaw Allen. That's a good show. I've been a long time listener of the Jordan Harbinger show. I don't listen to every episode, but he's really good. I listen to Tea with Queen and Jay. Two Black women. They're really dope. I listen to the Speaker Lab with Grab Baldwin to help with my speaking stuff. I listen to a lot of podcasts. I'm like, this list could go on and on.
You just got to pick one.
Well, okay. Well, those are my top three. I hope I said three. So I'll say those are my top three that I recommend to people. And that's also a good balance three. So I get my business, I get my speaking, and then I get being a Black woman in America.
Okay. We will take your 3-headed favorite monster. Now I'm going to go a little bit off the beaten path, and I'm going to go with a non-business podcast, something that is strictly for entertainment. It's called Cinephobe, and it's a podcast that is hosted by my man's Amin El Hassan and I'm about to say Talk Hoops, Zach Harper, who is at Talk Hoops on Twitter, and it's produced by Anthony Mace. You know, if you don't follow, I'm about to say, it's like if you don't follow sports, you're not going to know any of these people. I mean, used to be on ESPN. Zach's, a serial writer, blogger on a lot of different things, especially on NBA. They actually host a sports radio show on Sirius XM. But they come together to do a movie podcast, hence the name Cinephobe, where they take the lowest rated Rotten Tomato movies, and they try to, wait for it, ascertain whether or not these movies get a fair shake or not.
That's smart.
And most of these movies are complete garbage. And so it's just a bunch of jokes. They're just joking on the movie and joking on each other. And it's some of the best time that I ever have listening to a podcast because I'm just laughing like the entire time. Like I'm walking around this house and I'm just dying laughing because I'm listening to them talk about this ridiculous Whoopi Goldberg movie called Theodore Rex.
I gotta be Whoopi.
Well, they just came off Whoopi Goldberg month. They just did Wesley Snipes month. They did a bunch of stuff. But they just did Whoopi month. They did Sister Act 2. And what was the other movie that was so trash? And Whoopi was barely in it. Oh my God. National Lampoon's Loaded Weapon. Yeah, she was in there for a hot minute. So they, all these movies have to be below 40% on Rotten Tomatoes. And most of the time when they're below 40%, they're usually trash. But in some cases, like with Money Talks, That's a classic movie. There's no reason being 40% below, but that's why they have the podcast. They talk about some of the things that would make it not so great, but also embellish whether or not this is good enough to watch again or never be seen by another person, basically.
I'm not a movie person, but I love the concept.
I'm not gonna lie. I was very jealous of that concept because the execution of it is to me flawless only because the hosts are antagonists to each other. So on top of them like being friends, they're antagonizing each other the entire time about their relationship and the movie. So you end up like getting in their stuff like while you're in the podcast. It's a great time. Shout out the whole Count the Dings, Jay Hoy, Eden Lou, Black Trey, everybody out there. Bomb, y'all know what time it is. They the homies. I'm probably gonna have somebody come on marketing for the culture. I think Black Trey would be great.
Yeah.
He actually worked on the campaign for the Travis Scott McDonald's collab. And
it would be dope.
He's like a Twitter superstar. Not as far as like following, but as far as the amount of tweets that just like hit for people. Yeah, my man Black Trey is fire. Shout out Trayvon. That is my podcast recommendation. So definitely leave those links in the show notes. Now I'm gonna kind of keep things going. What is your favorite television show? I guess are we still calling it television?
I know, right?
Of this year. I know I had a runaway favorite.
What do you have?
If you didn't have HBO Max this year, I'm not sure what you're doing with your life. I'm just gonna say it.
Like, what are you gonna say? What are you gonna say?
Well, I was gonna say for one, HBO Max been bringing that heat all year with the movies and the shows. But Kate Winslet in Mayor of Easttown was some of the best television I have ever watched because it brought together so many things that I like from my shows. It's got great mystery. It was a crime drama, of course. He's a detective trying to solve a murder of a young girl in a small town in Philadelphia. And they figure out that it might be connected to a missing girl. And they're trying to figure out where the missing girl is. And so the pressure is on her because nobody can find the missing girl. And then another girl ends up dead. And so the whole town is thinking, like, is these two things connected? Do we have a serial killer? And then they're like, why the police don't have any answers? Mayor, why don't you have the answers? And Mayor is the hometown hero. She grew up playing basketball at the high school team. They won the state championship with her as the point guard. So everybody knows Mayor. And now she's, police chief. And of course, come to find out, Mayor's going through it in her personal life as well. So it brings all these elements of humanizing and intrigue, and then the people who are on the show they're just great. Everybody plays their role to the nth degree. Like Mayor Mama get on Mayor nerves. And it's funny every time. But it's like it just felt so real. You know what I'm saying? You know how like you watch a show sometime with like a lot of rich people and it's like you're almost in a fantasy land. This show just felt real as outside. Like I could walk into that show. And that was something that I could really appreciate. I don't want to give away the show, but it's 10 episodes, HBO Max.
Well, you got me intrigued.
Man, that thing was. Hey, look, if you ain't got time to finish it, don't even start it. Because you're going to want to watch 6 episodes in a night and be like, I got to know what happened next.
Okay, so I'm going to stick with your HBO theme. And I'm going to say my favorite show, which caught me by surprise, is Love Life.
I heard about that.
I don't know why. So season 1 was about a white woman. Season 2 was about a black guy. And I literally binge watched all of it like maybe 2 weeks ago. But it's what you said was like you felt like you can walk into that show. I felt the same thing for that. I'm like, oh, this is my life. My friends are going through the same thing. And it wasn't the traditional love story. It was just very regular. And it was, I think, 8 episodes each season, just very regular. And it's like everything that me and my friends are going through. And then when they do end up with someone, it's just very regular. It's not like some fairy tale
right
notebook.
Like, we still going through it. We still trying to figure this thing out, but
beside you.
I think we got something here. Yeah.
And it was crazy. I tweeted after the first season, I tweeted something like oh, I relate to the show. Like my life is between shambles and happiness. And the director liked my tweet. The director or the producer of the show or whatever. It was really funny.
They're gonna run your tweet on the promo.
Hey, at me. So
Twitter
so yeah,
small.
but I thought that was a surprisingly cool show.
I'm gonna have to check that out because I heard somebody talking about season 2 and they got me intrigued because I seen it, but of course, you put a white woman on the cover. I might click on it. Like, I don't know where you're going with this, but I like what you said, the same thing that I like, which is just this is a show that you feel like you could walk into and it's not some fantasy land shit. So that might be up my alley.
Yeah, my friend told me to watch season 2 first, but for some reason I couldn't. But the thing is, it's a complete continuation from season 1 to season 2. So season 2, there's a lot more emphasis on the black guy, and the white woman pops up a couple of times. But the way the creator was just phenomenal. And then more importantly, when they focused on the black guy, you can tell they got a different set of writers. Like they must have put some of us in the writers' room because the punchlines were hitting. Like the funniness was different, and you can see like the culture shift of season 2. And it's like, oh, we in here? Yeah, I know we in the writing. Okay. Because his best friend was just hilarious with the punchlines.
Like,
so yeah.
Surprise. You mess around and you get somebody that speaks the language in the room, and all of a sudden it just feels real.
Yeah, but the white girl was funny too. Different kind of funny.
But I like that idea though of basically exploring different stories in the same universe within a given season. That's kind of like, kind of Marvel-esque. I mean, I'm sure they didn't invent it, but like when you think about the connectivity, it's like you're always with these people, but it's like now we're gonna kind of shift this chair this way and we're gonna look at it from this angle. So man, that's
I think
interesting.
Media has evolved. Like if you think about it, before, okay, you either have a sitcom, a 30-minute sitcom, 1-hour drama, 2-hour movie, right? Comedy, whatever, 2-hour movie. And with streaming, it's like, okay, I have this story I want to share, but I need 8 episodes. Right? And like that's the thing about Insecure. It's like, okay, Just need 8 episodes, 20, 30 minutes.
I don't want to talk about Insecure. I haven't started it yet. I'm going to watch it. I don't ask me what I'm waiting for, but um, I don't know. It's like I'm not ready to watch it yet. I don't
This
even know why.
or the whole thing?
Kind of the whole thing.
Oh, okay.
You know, because I didn't catch the first 2 episodes, and I'm just like, and then it comes on the same day as Curb, and it's priorities.
But I thought they were back to back or something.
They are, but like I don't watch anything live, of course.
Oh,
And
okay. Okay, got you.
and I'm like I have one show I'm going to watch every night. Like that's it. I'm watch one show, one episode, and that's it.
Okay.
You know, maybe on a Sunday afternoon or Saturday afternoon, me and my girl we probably knock out all the Insecures and
Gotcha.
get caught up. But when that Curb drop, I'm about to watch that Curb. I don't give a damn.
Okay.
That you know, like Curb could be favorite show every single year it comes out.
I've heard that before.
I'm just not gonna do that. All my Curb heads know. Like
I've heard that.
That is one of the funniest TV shows of all time. I cannot compare it to anything else.
Okay. I might go back to the archives and watch season 1 and see how it goes from there.
You know, I would say yes. You watch some from the beginning, but you're gonna want to watch some of the newer ones only because I'm like I haven't even realized, but like there's been so many seasons. This shit predates smartphones.
Yeah, it's 11 seasons. I've seen. Yeah.
And I was like, when I was watching them, like, bro, these dudes had flip phones and and house phones, answering machines, like everything was totally different. So, and then you know what? I'm gonna say this as well. The first like 5, 6 seasons, Larry is married, and I know we kind of going off on the thing, but I want this everybody to know. Larry's married to gosh, Sherry, and the life that he had while he was married does not compare to his single life. And there are some great episodes in those early seasons. But when Larry gets a divorce and the blacks move in, I mean, it was a black family from Katrina, and their little last name was the Blacks, and that's where you get JB Smoove. JB Smoove comes in with Vivica Fox for that season. The family leaves, but JB Smoove's character Leon ends up staying. And when I tell you from that point on, they have not let me down, not one bit. Now they have never let me down, but it has been on an all-time high as ever since JB Smoove got on that show. I don't even know if that's a hot take, but watching those, that's where you will want to start because the technology is a little bit more current and there's a few more black jokes.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to find a faster way to talk about this because I haven't really fleshed out my Curb takes. Because when I start talking Curb, I'm always talking to a person that loves Curb. You know, white dude came to my house and he was like, "Oh, you watching Curb?" I'm like, "Bro, I'm not even gonna tell you the joke." He was like, "All right, I got you."
Okay, I'll catch up.
Oh man, he got my head going, man. I could talk all day about Curb. I shouldn't even have brought that shit up. Try to speed it up.
I know, right? So what's next? What we got next?
All right, so now we are down to our last 2, and this is going to be a little bit more geared toward things going on out there in the world. So the first one we had was kind of a mixed category. So we said marketing campaign, but then I kind of opened it up to marketing deals, marketing initiatives. Uh, what was your favorite thing that got started as a marketing thing this year?
As a marketing thing,
Yeah.
you switching.
I mean, I'm just saying, like I'm giving people some analogies so they can figure out, like, yeah, this all kind of in the same realm.
Because I had my campaign.
Just give me your campaign then.
It's funny because I didn't watch the movie, but the way they marketed Coming to America was very impressive. I think that came out late last year, but I sat on, or was it this year?
It was this year.
Was this year?
Yeah, I did a
Um,
podcast on it.
but
Yeah.
the way they did that rollout, I was very impressed. Very, very impressed. And then the thing is, it's like at the lots of times, like we know about Amazon, but do we really know about Amazon, right? We know
Mm,
about our Amazon Prime. We know they have the cloud. We know they have the movies, and obviously the Amazon trucks. But if you think about it, they have Coming to America, the movie, right? And then they put Coming to America on all of their Amazon trucks. Like,
yeah.
the billboards, they sent chocolate for Valentine's Day, or, they did a lot of stuff. And, I sat on a webinar, so it's probably why I know some of this stuff and I'm impressed. But even before then, but to hear the behind the scenes on how they created the campaign, that's what I sat on. It was just very impressive. I
Mm.
think, yeah. And to see how a movie rollout actually happens, especially today with the theaters kind of, that's just kind of crazy right now. So I would say Coming to America, and then I would say what 50 Cent has done with Stars is just incredible. Because I watch all of his foolishness.
I'm not gonna get started on that. I'm not
The
even gonna.
shows, the
I'm
shows,
not.
not the interviews,
I
not the
know, but I'm not. I don't even want to have the power conversation with you right now.
because we will be, look, this is gonna be the never ending
Like
podcast.
I can't.
We're gonna talk about shows for the culture.
I mean, yo, I'm hearing good things about BMF. I'm not
Mhm.
ready for that yet. That's another one of those shows where I'm like,
That one's
I,
kind of hit or miss. I think I watch it because of the true story elements.
yeah,
And I
and
know BMF from the music. So from 2004, that's what I know of BMF. So I'm kind of waiting to get to
right,
that point. But
you
if we
seen.
just focus on the marketing, the rollout,
I
and
feel you.
deals,
Yeah,
which kind of go, prior to this year, like you got to give 50 Courtney their credit. And it's really about the sequence of the shows.
mm,
Like BMF season finale. Well, shit, we can go back to the Kanan. His season finale was the launch of BMF, and then BMF season finale was the launch of Ghost 2.0 with Tyreek, whatever they calling it.
uh, Power Book 2, Season 2, 2.2. I don't know.
So just the sequence of
I
all
feel
of
you.
that in their
I
social media.
that actually was pretty dope. I did appreciate the way they were doing some of the rollout when it came to BMF. They looked like they took a lot of care into putting
Mm.
that together. Um, I have a lot of roots in Michigan, so Meech is a kind of a, I ain't gonna say hometown hero, but he's legendary.
Mhm.
And I'm interested in watching what they did with it and getting to know some ins and outs of the story. But I'm kind of at capacity. I guess s- Power Book 2 with Tariq left a very bad taste in my mouth for crime dramas starring black people. Like I just it's like I just need a little time. Um it I was a little burnt out, cuz I didn't want to have this whole Power conversation, but Power dragged his ass all the way to the end of the Ghost Saga. That was a long last 3-4 seasons because Ghost should have died 76 times, but he didn't. He only died once.
By his son at that.
By his son. But after like coming out of that and then going into the Tariq thing, I was just like, I was like, I don't know if I could do another one. It was like I might need a little time to heal and cleanse my palate
I mean,
before I come back.
it makes perfect sense. I mean, for me, it's escapism, especially Saturday night at 11 o'clock. Like this is
Yeah,
for me, right? And you bring up some valid points. And going back to Issa Rae, that's why Insecure is having a hard stop.
yeah. Yo, HBO do not try to milk nothing. It's over when it's over. I love that about HBO. One season, Watchmen, it's over. Get it, no more.
But yeah, we can go in so many elements with Power and even Omari Hardwick and his career. Poor fellow. But
Like,
you didn't know the pandemic was coming. But no, but we talked about it last time with just the deals of Issa Rae and Kev on stage. And obviously 50 is 50, but you have to give them credit. Kind of going back to Rick Ross, where they've come from and the deals that they've
yeah,
made, business empires that they've created. It's pretty awesome.
it is. 50 has done a good job of basically rebranding himself as a television mogul in a sense, because he also had the show on ABC.
That's what I was just thinking. That was a really good show.
I did not watch it because I don't
Shoreline.
do I don't do recreational sadness, so it's hard for me to get into some of these shows. But I thought it was a good look and a great change of pace,
Mhm.
and it showed that 50 has some skin in the game and wants to see some of these stories get told. So
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe me and 50 could work together. Just we gotta find new writers. I don't want none of them niggas, bro. None of them.
No, I mean, yeah. I mean, Power Universe has so many flaws in it, but nonetheless.
We're not gonna start that. We're gonna have to just have a whole nother chat about the foolishness of Power and maybe like rank some all time characters, episodes.
We're gonna have to do an episode on Power, Snowfall, and The Wire.
See, I got a problem. I have not watched The Wire, which I'm one of those people. Yes.
Okay, well, I
Um.
just watched it last year when the pandemic just started. So
um,
okay, well, you watched Snowfall?
I watched the first few seasons of Snowfall and I fell off because I don't know. It's like it was good, but it didn't keep my attention. I can't really understand what was
I
going
can
on with
see
that.
that because there was a bunch of slow moments.
Okay, so it wasn't just me.
No.
So it's like I was watching it, of course, through Hulu, and just forgot one day and on to the next show. Oh, SVU out. Fuck that shit. Gotta get my SVU in. I don't
We're
care.
so off topic.
I know, man. But you know what though? Like that's the thing about talk about entertainment is like there's an ecosphere of things that basically connect people.
Mhm.
And when we just start talking about it, man, you kind of just get in your feelings because all these things make you feel some type of emotion.
Yeah.
So that's all it is. And I know my girl's probably jealous right now because I'm not this excited to talk to her on the phone, but it's cool.
Okay.
You know,
I don't want any smoke.
Nah, you good. She calls me to vent and, tell me how dumb people are. And it's like we had this conversation yesterday. So, I don't know. I don't have nothing new. Like I'm not gonna pretend like I can do every time. I can't. I just can't.
Moving on. I don't know if this is gonna be cut out.
I'm good. I don't care. I'm straight up. I keep it a buck. So wrap it up. We are going to name one more thing, and that's going to be our favorite YouTube channel, blog, or social media feed, because we all take in content in different ways. And that's why I wanted to have a category for all of us who take in our marketing tips, recipes, life hacks. You get them from all over the places. So, uh, where you at, Michelle? What's your favorite?
I don't know if I need to be professional or share a guilty pleasure.
Do what you want.
Oh God. There's one, it was a professional one I can't even think about. But there's a couple of them that have different marketing jokes and consulting jokes. And I always find those very humorous to get through the day. And then that would be my righteous. And then on the ratchet side, there's spiritual word, because they're quick to give bad relationship advice that I find very hilarious. followed by scripture.
Where can we find that account? Is that on Instagram?
Yes, I'm sorry. Yeah, both of these are on Instagram.
Okay. Now I actually need to follow that because I need some good meme inspiration. I want to make some podcast memes. I just suck at making memes.
Yeah, anytime I see the internet is undefeated, I'm like, y'all have time. And then I'd be like, how? Like just yesterday, or maybe this weekend, it was someone made a comment like, how come Adele doesn't have any background singers? And then they like Photoshop Megan Thee Stallion dancing and then put her verse in Adele's song. And it was exactly. And I'm like, how long did this take you? What do you do? Where do you work at?
Like, what type of computer are you on where you can just be like, all right, I got this Megan Thee Stallion video. I'm gonna get this Dell video. I'm gonna swap them up, chop them up. I'm gonna green screen affect it, connect them after channel. Like, bro, like that shit takes time. Who the hell has time like that, bro? I don't know. I don't know you guys. I tried. I'm not good at it, and I don't have time for it.
Folks be moving. But what's your favorite platform?
Ooh, now this is actually a tough one for me, only because I haven't been looking at anybody this year. And that's not to say that, I don't think anybody is worthy. It's just a time thing. And then also, as an artist, you try not to get too influenced by other music or other influential people in this case. But I will say, let me make sure I say my man's name right, bro. I know I'm going to butcher his last name, but I need to look at it. But Tom Bellew, I think that's how you.
Oh yeah, Tom Bellew.
Bellew, there you go.
Yeah.
From Impact Theory.
Yep.
I stumbled upon him this year. and just blew my head off with some of the stuff he was dropping. And I'm just like, okay, this might be my future, is being him. Mm-hmm. Because he has some expertise, but he wants to know every single thing about a given subject.
Yes.
And I really like his curiosity. And so he is one of my most frequent YouTube people, because I don't really watch a lot of YouTube, but I got into this thing where I would want to have something on the TV, but I just didn't want it to have bullshit.
Yeah.
So I just started throwing his videos on, and I'm like, yeah, I'm stuck. I'm coming back every week. This is one of my new things. Now I'm like, now I've transitioned to listening to it on the podcast side of things, so I don't have to always watch it. But that's gonna be my number one. And so y'all look out for that. Get your mind right, man.
Yeah, anything mindset and health, he's really good. I started listening to Lewis Howes again. He's improved a lot as an interviewer. So it's been interesting kind of seeing his journey. So you would probably like him too as well.
Send him my way. I'm gonna give it a go. Yeah, that's definitely something that I'm super big on, and I think I'm, like I said, like when we kind of doing a co-open, I'm going to put more stock into helping people get their mindset correct, because I don't think like a lot of people, and I know that.
Yeah.
And so I have to take the things that people are teaching me and translate them into the way that my people need it. And when I say my people, I don't just mean my people, but like my people, like podcasters, marketers, anybody who can get some knowledge from me in whatever life they might be living.
Mindset is everything.
Everything.
Mindset and positive people.
Yes. Listen to Michelle. She knows what she's talking about.
Every now and then.
Yes. All right. So that is going to do it for our favorites, this list. Now, I'm not exactly sure how this is going to come out, but do you have anything else that you would like to add? Because this might be a 6-part podcast. It might just be 2 parts. I don't know yet.
When you say it like that, no, once again, if you can support the giving campaign, that is great. If you want to become a board member or a volunteer, go to our membership page. That information will be there for you to apply. And once again, we thank you for the continuous support.
Absolutely. Y'all keep it coming. Y'all keep listening. I appreciate you for listening this far. You're a real one, for real, because no matter how long this thing was much longer than you could have ever expected. And we appreciate you for being here. And y'all just look out for these big things coming with Alma in the next few weeks and months. All right. And with that said, thank y'all again. I'm CL Palmer. That's Michelle Gomez, and we are out here. Peace.
Thank you for listening to Marketing for the Culture podcast. If you haven't already, please subscribe, whether it's on Apple, Google, Spotify, or your favorite podcast platform. And of course, our videos are on YouTube. If you have a moment, feel free to give us a rate, review, or just comment. We appreciate our sponsors for their continuous support. Also, if you're interested in learning more about our sponsors or becoming a member of the African American Marketing Association, visit aa-ma.org.